Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan. How in the world are you doing? Here to discuss the Miami Dolphins' heartbreaking loss in London to the Jacksonville Jaguars as time would expire 23-20. The Jaguars get their first win of the season. The Dolphins lose their fifth game in a row to fall in 1-2, 1-5 on the season. Before I get started, guys, if you do like the content of this video, although if you're a Dolphin fan, you're probably not going to like much of the content because it has to do with us losing again, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. That would be awesome. I would appreciate that. And go ahead and subscribe also if you would like to do so to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. So, guys, let's get started here. I have the snippets board, some of the key points I thought of this game. Not an easy one to even talk about. I mean, for good luck, I broke out the old Bob Greasy jersey. Here you go. Give us some luck. You know, I figured I'd break out my old school Dolphin jersey to help us beat a previously winless team with a rookie quarterback, but no, it didn't work. It didn't work. We would lose as time would expire on a 53-yard field goal by Matthew Wright. Going into this game, the Jaguars did not kick a field goal in their first 5 games, which is almost unheard of. Like a lot of things have to happen for you not to kick a field goal your first 5 games. But nonetheless, Matthew Wright would kick a 54-yard field goal in the second half, followed up by a game-winning 53-yard field goal. And the Dolphins now with a definitely long plane ride back to South Florida from London. So guys, let's get into it here. It was more of a game where, of course, Tua's back from the rib injury from week 2. He played pretty well, I would say. Let's talk Dolphins first. We'll do the snippets board and all that stuff, hit the main points. I really think, and I kind of touched on this before, this 2021 Miami Dolphin team really isn't held back from quarterback play, and I seriously mean that, whether it's Jacoby Brissett or Tua. It's the other things that we fail at and the other areas where we fail that I think is making the difference, sadly, making the difference for the Dolphins. I left the word run up on the snippets board with the question mark now for, I think it's at least 3 weeks in a row. Because the big question that I've had this season is, will the Dolphins stay committed to the run? They did a better job at that today, although it was by committee. It wasn't necessarily a Myles Gaskin-led attack, but they did run the ball about, I think it was 20 times in total. It was 20 times in total. Which I'll take that. The game never went to overtime, so I'll take 20 carries. Got to get really at least 18 to 20 carries, in my opinion, as a team with this Miami Dolphin offensive attack. So I'm okay there. By plays, I did not put the word plays on there as in offensive plays. So I'm gonna hold off on that this week. I was a little more upset about that last week. I'm gonna hold off on that this week. But key plays. This game was not short on key turning point plays, which I want to discuss with you real quick. If you're just a fan who just wanted to watch football in the morning, because this was a 9:30 Eastern Standard Time start, 9:30 in the morning from London, and you're just a casual fan wanting to see some football before the rest of the day's action got started, this was actually a pretty good game to watch. It really was. It had several turning points. A couple of drop passes, but other than that, I wouldn't say it was really a poorly played game. It wasn't the greatest. I mean, this wasn't, Pittsburgh, Dallas, 1978 or whatever. But, excuse me, but still, it wasn't really that bad of a played game, and it was a very closely contested game. Okay, so, I mean, you had some key plays here, especially when we got it late into the third quarter, early fourth quarter. We had the Dolphins sack and the fumble recovery late in the third. Very next play, Tua throws an interception, and that was his only interception. So it's like for a while there in the second half, I was saying to myself, hey, Dolphins might get lucky here because they're playing a team that doesn't know how to win games yet, which really, if you think about it, neither of these teams, I hate to say it, fully know how to win games, it seems. The Jaguars certainly looked like a team that didn't know how to win a game in the second half. Tua then, as mentioned, throws the interception, so we're going back and forth now. Then the Jaguars drive all the way down to about the 7, I think it was, of the Dolphins. They don't kick the field goal to go up by a touchdown. Instead, they go for it on 4th and 2 with a running play that basically gets stuffed. And I'm thinking at this point, Dolphins are only down by 4. It was like 17-13. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We're going to get this. Jaguars don't know how to win games. We got this. And then Mike Gesicki turns up in a big way on a couple of possessions there in the second half. Made some big receptions. And he had that stretch there in the fourth quarter to Mike Gesicki where he was a big factor, guys. But it would not be enough as the Dolphins lose as time expires on the field goal, on the crushing 53-yard field goal. The defense, too many missed tackles again. Defense really hasn't played well this season, I'm sorry. They played a little bit better in the fourth quarter, but too many missed tackles. James Robinson, he's elusive, and he was almost, at times, a little too much for the Dolphins. I will say that Jerome Baker, I liked his play, though, for the Dolphins once again. He was a factor, and I love the plays and the stunts where Baker was blitzing. Got to see maybe a little more of that. I mean, you can't do that all the time, I know, but when Baker would blitz, it seemed to work out pretty well. So overall, the defense is still a concern. I mean, I know there's some injuries. It's just too inconsistent. And let's be honest, I mean, they allowed that quick slant pass over the middle because they're out of field goal range, and then all of a sudden they get it to like roughly the 36 with a second left to set up the heartbreaking Matthew Wright field goal. Whew. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. I put Tua here with the question mark. Really, it's the same Tua that we're used to seeing. He didn't really play that bad, but also, guys, we have to, if we're going to keep Tua long term, we have to understand this is more of a college-style offense that we're looking at. It's like this, quick play action, quick throwing, hitch pass type of deal that we're looking at on offense. Jalen Waddle is kind of a college-esque receiver. He is good. Jalen Waddle's good, but I don't know. I think we need to get him the ball a little bit more downfield, at least a little more frequent. He's constantly, and he caught 10 passes, but he's constantly right on the sideline. He's like these wide receiver screen type passes. He did score 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdown receptions. He played pretty well, but would like to see Waddle get down the field a little more. So, hey, Tua was, he was okay. He was pretty good. He threw for over 300 yards. He did look very decisive. I will say that. Give him credit. But is he the quarterback for the future? We don't know that answer yet, guys. This is kind of still an audition where the Dolphins, I don't think, are very sure, nor are the fans of what's going to happen here. But he didn't play bad. I can't say that he played bad either. Tua would finish 33 of 47, 329 yards. He throws for over 300 yards. 2 touchdowns, interception. Jacoby Brissett would come in for a little while, just for a series there. He would throw 1 pass, 1 for 1, 25 yards. Tua would add 22 yards on the ground, 3 carries. Malcolm Brown, 24 yards on the ground, 5 carries. Salvin Ahmed had 1 nice run. He would finish 7 carries, 22 yards. Myles Gaskin, 5 carries, 9 yards. What happened to the big volume for Myles Gaskin? You can forget about that for now. Sorry, guys. Mike Gesicki was the one big bright spot for the Dolphins. 8 catches, 115 yards. Waddle, as mentioned, 10 catches, 70 yards on the 2 touchdown receptions. Matt Collins played probably his best game as a Dolphin. He looked pretty good. 4 catches, 61 yards. Durham Smythe, 5 catches, 59 yards. So you had a lot of over-the-middle, tight end type stuff going on for the Dolphins. Of course, Tua in there. That's also a big part of the offense. Ahmed added a catch out of the backfield, 15 yards. Albert Wilson, 2 catches, 14 yards. Cethan Carter, a catch for 8 yards. Brown out of the backfield, a catch for 7 yards. Gaskin, after his 10-catch game last week, would only have 2 catches out of the backfield for 5 yards. Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk about them for a second, then we'll close things out. Trevor Lawrence gets his first victory as an NFL starting quarterback. He would go 25 of 41, 319 yards and a touchdown. He looked out of sync to me in the first half, guys, but he found his confidence as the Jaguars just hung around, and he threw that big touchdown pass to Marvin Jones right at the end of the first half. I think that was a key play for just the vibe of this Jaguar offense and the confidence of the entire offensive unit led by Trevor Lawrence. James Robinson, as mentioned, 17 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. Seemed like he almost had 120 yards to me. Seemed like he had more yards. It was all those missed tackles by the Dolphins. Very elusive. He's a very good running back. Lawrence added 11 yards on the ground on 2 carries. He did lose a fumble. Jones would finish not just with the touchdown catch, but with 100 yards receiving on 7 catches. Jamal Agnew, 78 yards receiving 5 catches. Laviska Shenault, 6 catches, 54 yards. Robinson out of the backfield, 3 catches, 28 yards. Dan Arnold, 2 catches, 27 yards. Luke Farrell, a catch for 21 yards. Chris Manhertz added a catch for 11 yards, guys. The Jaguars get their first victory of the season. This was their first victory since September of last year, since week 1 of the 2020 season, which means they lost like 20 games in a row, because they lost their last 15 games of last year, plus the first 5 of this year. They beat the Dolphins. Who's up next for the Dolphins? The Atlanta Falcons. Do believe that's a home game. I mean, guys, it just doesn't get any worse than this. I'm sorry to say. There's still 11 games left in the season. Don't forget, we got 17 games this year. This really was a must-win. Next Sunday is absolutely positively a must-win for the Dolphins. They got to play a little bit better defensively. They got to be able to throw the ball down the field a little bit more frequently, I would say, a little bit better. I don't know. We could sit here and talk about all these things that they got to do, but ultimately the Dolphins are desperate for a win. It's 5 losses in a row. Leave me some comments. We're going to talk again soon, guys. Sorry to report on this loss here, but I recap all the Dolphin games on my channel. This was a tough one to recap, but it is what it is. We got to congratulate the Jaguars for a job well done, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.